Hello everyone and welcome to our track guide for this week. This week we're at Sebring. Of course, this is home to the famous 12 Hours of Sebring, as well as the site of IndyCar winter testing, hence why we usually run this in the Open Series. Slightly braking for turn 1, getting on the power as soon as we can use the curbs and exit if we want to, and braking for turn 3. This 3, 4, and 5 complex is very technical. Do not want to use these high bank curbs. We can use a little curb on exit here if we want to. Heading through Big Bend, and now heading towards the hairpin. This will be a great place to make a pass. It's also an easy place to make a mistake. It's decreasing radius, so you got to turn tighter as the corner goes. Power down as soon as you can, drive straight through these corners. As we pass through Fangio, we head towards turn 10 or Cunningham. This will be another great place for a pass. This corner is very easy to overshoot, so if necessary, just back up your entry. Through Collier, we head towards the tower turn, named after the tower you see on your left over there. It's a very bumpy turn. We'll talk about the bumps later on in this video and how to deal with them. Now heading through Bishop, and heavily braking for turn 15 into second gear, using the curbs on the left and the right. Running a little bit wide here to get a good run through Le Mans, using all the curbs and exit. And now we head towards Sunset Bend and the Ullman Straight. Sunset Bend is a great place to make a pass. It's very bumpy. Drive in hard and fast. Holding it tight. You heard that bump there. It's really bumpy here. I had to make a big correction on exits, but enough to save the car and bring it home to the start-finish line. And that's one lap around Sebring International Raceway. Now let's look at some other quick tips. Our first passing opportunity in turn 1 is pretty straightforward. If you can get that inside line and hold it tight, the car on the outside is not going to have much of a choice but to have to concede the corner. Right after turn 1, there's a short run into turn 3. This can also be a good place to pass if you have a better corner exit speed than the car in front. As the trailing car does here, makes a move to the left, brakes, gets into the corner, and completes the pass successfully. Here's another example of a turn 3 pass. This car exiting the pits has cold tires. They're not up to pressure. The car behind has been out for a couple laps. His tires are warm, and it's quite easy to make a pass on a car with cold tires, and this is likely where it will happen. The next passing opportunity is into the hairpin, and while this is a short straight, if the car in front has a bad exit off of turn 5, you can get alongside them, outbrake them, holding that inside line, and powering down. If you get a good exit out of the hairpin, and with some push to pass, turn 10 can also be another area where you can pass. And last but certainly not least, Sunset Bend is another great place to make a pass. If you can hold that inside line, the car on the outside is going to have to deal with the same bumps you are, and the car on the inside in that case is always going to pull ahead. Regarding curb usage, you do not want to use these high curbs here, for example in turns 3, 4, and 5, and other parts of the track. If you run over these curbs, your car will bounce up and down, and if you are on throttle, you will likely spin and lose control. Here you can see them again in turn 10. Generally speaking, you can use the flat curbs, but not the higher bank curbs. As you may know, Sebring is a very bumpy track. Here, for example, in the tower turn, there's a bump right in the middle of the corner that's unavoidable. Likewise, in Sunset Bend, there's bumps everywhere. So when you hit a bump or you run over a bump, let the car settle before you apply throttle. Otherwise, you may either spin out or you're going to have to make a major correction. Pit lane entry at Sebring is pretty straightforward. As you enter Sunset Bend, just hold to the right of the track and enter pit lane as such. And that's our basic track guide for Sebring. If you'd like to read more information about Sebring and the IndyCar this week on iRacing, check below in the description for a link to the weekly forum thread, as well as an invite to the IndyCar community Discord.